So for a number of years now, I've been an outdoor person on YouTube what's enjoyed wild camping, stealth camping in abandoned buildings. End of the day, I've done a lot of outdoor camping all year round. And stoves is something I want to talk about today. Well, I want to show you a stove as well. It's like an old-fashioned stove these days. What I mean by old-fashioned is when YouTube started, and people started going out camping and uploading to YouTube, they started to use like the equipment what were out then, the older equipment. And as the time has got greater and greater with the outdoors, they started making a lot of these gas stoves, jet boils, fire maple, OEX, you know, the list continues. And it seems like the older stuff has faded away because the newer stoves boil water 10 times quicker than alcohol stoves. Now, this is an alcohol stove, what a lot of the older generation will know. Trangia, if I'm saying that right, Trangia stoves. I've got a really bad problem with pronouncing words sometimes. It's part of being dyslexic, it's just what happens. And these stoves are what people used to use a long time ago. Now, I'm saying a long time ago, 20, 30 years ago is a long time ago. But you can still buy them. They're not like, you know, dead and they've stopped making them. You can still buy them. But what started happening is, like I say, when YouTube kicked off on, camping kicked off on YouTube, and the Chinese market people got involved with it all, they started making a lot of knockoffs. I've used one or two of them myself, what are copies of the Trangia stoves. You'll always know it's a Trangia if it's got the big T at the back of it there. But the good old-fashioned, reliable ones, you don't really see them. You just see the copied ones. Lexada, I think that's how you pronounce that one. They do copies of these. But what they don't do is, they don't add the material. Now, believe it or not, inside this stove, it's a double walled. It's quite thick. But inside of this double wall here, there's actually a round piece of material, like a cloth, what helps soak up the alcohol fuel, what is in here. This is like a portable canister. This is made out of the same thick, strong plastic as your jerry cans. You know, if you go to a petrol station, if you're broken down, your car has, you can go buy the jerry cans. This is the same material what these are made out of. But yeah, I think, I'm not sure you can see it, but just right there, right at the bottom, you can see some of the material what I'm on about. Now, alcohol stoves are quiet, they're more stealthy, they're more reliable, because you can just take this with fuel in it. You're not having to try and get wet wood going, are you, in a little wood burning stove. This one, you've got like a rubber seal there, and what that does, it helps because you can fill your stove up. I've just opened that once. You can fill your stove up like this. Now, what's good about this is if you put your finger on top there, it stops the flow. Now, once you put your lid on, because it's got that rubber seal, what that does is you can pour, if that a little bit of fuel, what we call a lip there, you can just pour it around now with the fuel in it already. Would you recommend that? Would you do that yourself? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, the cheap ones don't seem to have that rubber ring inside, and they definitely don't have that material on the inside of the double walls. So what I'm saying is, the older equipment is always going to be better because it's well made. It's made to last. The cheaper ones, they're not made to last. They're just absolute rubbish. They burn the fuel quicker. I think I've done a test on this before where the Trangia one actually lasts a lot longer than the Lexada one. Now, I will check that out and share the link in the description of that if you're interested in seeing it. Now, let's, for instance, this is a cheap stand. This is not part of the Trangia style range, sorry. This is basically part of the Lexada one, but it fits on really well. Wow, fasten that a bit too tight, and let's use my strong hand. How can I fasten something, then struggle to unfasten it myself? Anyway, I'm going to show you this. So when your little stove is burning away, you can actually then put this on it. Now you can rather just drop it on to put the flame out. It basically suffocates the fuel, then it dies off, and then once it all cools down, put your lid back on. But what you can do as well is you can use it to reduce the heat coming from the fire, basically the fuel burning. So if you want it on a simmer, you can just do that. If you want it on a full burn to boil your water, do that. Talking about boiling water, that is the issue, because these little stoves, especially alcohol fuel stoves, they do take time. Now that's an indication. What I'm saying is, you see what I meant earlier when I says the cheaper companies copy the top brands, because like I said earlier, this is part of Lexada. I'm sure I'm saying that right now, range, and it fits in it perfect. So that's how you know they do copy them. And if something is selling really well, then they will copy it, won't they? But end of the day, business is business. People like myself and you guys are always looking for cheaper equipment, but buy cheap, buy twice. Is that still the way people are thinking? Now it is a shame, because you know, sun's shining, it's a bright day. That, believe it or not, is lit. Yeah, I've nicked my missus's candle lighter there. The old ones are always going to be the best, aren't they? That's what I say. I get it, technology moves on and stuff, but good old-fashioned stoves like this will always be around. Now, this is what I want to show you. Do not do this. This is the top what screws into lock that rubber seal around the rim to stop the alcohol fuel from draining out. This is your dimmer one what I showed you earlier. Just gently drop that one on top. Just give it a few seconds, and then you can just take it back off. If you do it with this one, what happens is you could damage the rubber seal in there, and then when you're carrying your fuel around with you, it could leak. So yeah, always need to use the dampener one there. Dampener, heat reduction, I don't know. What does it say there? It says something, hub or something, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, always use this one. Your reducer, heat reducer, flame reducer. So at the moment, it's just burning off some of the alcohol fuel from round the sides. You see it purple there? So it's just burning that off. So it does look a little bit aggressive at the moment. But from round the sides, here, all these little holes, I think you can see the fuel is starting to be fed up through that little bit of material on the inside of the double wall and starting to burn. Now let me know, do you still prefer the old type stoves like this? You can still buy them brand new. What I'm saying is this brand has been around a hell of a long time, a lot longer than the cheap Chinese ones. So I'm not just going to waste the fuel, we're going to put a brew on. So I've put my little stainless cup on, 300ml of water, 10:30 in the morning, so how long that takes to boil. I've got a great view of it in shade, so I can still see a few flames throwing itself out outside the cup. That's perfect, it's working well. So I thought I'd quickly bring you back in to show you this. Like I said earlier, it's the same material as your jerry cans are made out of. Jerry cans, you know, you've got a petrol station, you fill them up, you do whatever you want to do with them. It's the same sort of thick, strong plastic as that. You can see around here, it's got a metal ring. What that is for, is to protect the top part of it, you know, the screw part of it, because it's all plastic, so you can damage that as much as you want, banging it around. That will help it, but it's very, very strong. Now, there's a little bit of information here, is what I want to add this into it. there's four steps. So your first step is you got to undo the top. Second step, before you even start to pour it, is press it down. I think that's to release any fumes. And then third, obviously you got to control it. Yeah, that's right, keep one finger over it like that and control the flow. I don't want to pour it on the table, so that's not a good idea. And second, you just screw it back down. 500 ml. It's enough. I reckon you'd fill that six times very easily with one of these. When I first started camping, I saw a lot of people with them. I was like, I don't need one of them. But I've just got one anyway. I think I've had it a couple of years now. Used it very, very rarely. Like I said at the beginning of the video, your little gas stoves took over these alcohol stoves in the long run because of the speed they can boil. Now, when I'm out camping, if it's not absolutely freezing, I'm not really too bothered how quick the water boils. You know, if you get somewhere and you're more bothered about quick, do this, do that, do this, do that, you're just rushing your experience. You're rushing your time out. So if something takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer. So we've been going for a good 15 minutes. We've still got, I'd like to say, half of the fuel left. Like I say, I think it burns for about a good half an hour. So there we have it. Good old camping stoves. The stoves that were around before the little gas stoves came around, before these big companies drove them out of the market and unpopularised them. Can't beat them, can you? Does it mean I'd use it on the channel all the time? Well, not really, no. So I'm going to be going to Lake Districts or anywhere like that, or anywhere where a fire is quite dangerous to have. Having that sort of alcohol fuel is always a risk of it spilling over and burning. It's quite an invisible flame in the daytime, and at night time you can see it, but it's just like a blue. So it is quite dangerous. But you know what, if you're going to be in a bit of private woodland or anywhere like that, and like I say, it's horrible, wet, ugly weather, and you don't want to sit there trying to burn wet twigs and sticks, let's say, having one of them little stoves is absolutely perfect. And I made myself a morning brew, a little Irish cream coffee, to be fair. What I'll do is I'll share the link to the good stove, Trangia. I think that's it. No, it's not got an L in it, has it? Anyway, look, I'll share it in the description. It will be probably an Amazon link. If you've got a website, I'll share that in there. I think we need to try get the good old-fashioned designs back up and going, don't we? And people start using these sort of stoves instead of the gas ones. But like I said, I'll probably still use my little gas stoves. I just found it and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna mess around with this stove. I'm gonna play around it for a bit, and I thought it'd be great to show you a video. But you know, just because the market is flooded with gas stoves, the good old-fashioned alcohol fuel ones still work really well. And I know there's more designs and companies on the market, but that's the popular brand one that I've got. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this video. Short and sweet, I hope, anyway. I've got to edit it down yet. If you like what you see and you want to see more of me and what I do on my channel, I'll share a video list up here. I'll share my ugly face here. If you want to subscribe to me, please do. More than welcome. But for now, I'm just going to sit here, enjoy the winter sunshine. It is still quite warm, and enjoy my Irish cream coffee.